How's it going, guys? It's Mr. Lone Wolf, and today I'm going to go and do another mission on Big Salmon Peak. This one's called Wrong Turn, so I've got to head down here pretty much to the bottom of the map. There's a little spindly, pretty narrow road, so you've got to be careful what you bring, and yeah, you've got to rescue a truck up there, you've got to repair it, put some more tyres on it and fuel it up. For this one, for most of the journey anyway, I'm going to take Twinsteer. It was just an excuse to take this thing out, really. I had a little blast with it a week or two ago, like for a minute or something on one of these maps, but I've not actually really used it for any missions so far. And yeah, like I say, you got to go and repair the vehicle. It's a Lodestar that you grab in, so it's not a big vehicle, which is pretty handy. Yeah, I chose to bring some goddamn professionals with me. That's how slow the crane rotates. It's horrifically bad. Yeah, there's a couple of reasons I am bringing these, other than the fact that you've got to bring a horse with a vehicle with you. I'm going to need to repair the Lodestar anyway, and it's 510 points it needs, so a maintenance trailer's not going to be enough. The van body trailer, or whatever the bloody hell they call it these days, yeah, that'll have enough repair points, but that's got no fuel or anything. So, yeah, taking both of these, I mean, it saves having to leave a trailer anywhere, or bring a trailer back to the nearest trailer store, or obviously my favourite, just abandon the trailer wherever I finish the mission, let it become a free-range trailer. But yeah, this way it keeps things a little bit tidier, which, yeah, it's probably convenience more than anything. I'm not really putting any particular effort into keeping the map nice and tidy. I don't really care. I'll leave stuff all over the place. To be honest, every now and then, when I've left trailers all over the place, I mean, there's sometimes points on them, sometimes I don't have to go all the way to a trailer store. Long story short, there are times where abandoning a trailer in the middle of nowhere might become handy in a month or two, whereas having no trailer there never becomes handy in the future. Yeah, this was the kind of section. I mean, the main reason I wanted to do this mission was just give the Twinsteer a little bit of a test. And through places like this, I've been through it in, again, quite a few vehicles now. The P12 actually went through it pretty decently. I drove through here the other day in... what the hell was it? Oh yeah, the Derry 4520. I'd obviously tried to blank that from my mind. Yeah, I will say though, this map is definitely affecting this Twinsteer a little bit. I've got like just a little minute or two of footage at the end where I went for a little blast along the roads, and I mean, this thing, pretty much everywhere else I can think of, just absolutely winds up to speed really nicely. I like dropping this thing in high because it just seems to motor along in that. Yeah, on this map it just feels like it's been gutted a bit, like it's not quite got the power there. It sort of feels like when they were mentioning about adding all-wheel drive, and we were just waiting for the next update for it to get added, and I was saying like it's kind of, I'm looking forward to it and it'll be good, but I'm sort of worried that it might halve the power and change the feel of the Twinsteer, a little bit like the P12 and P16. They've both got the same engine, they're both roughly the same weight, although I believe the P16 is a bit heavier, or at least that's what it says in the description. But because the P16 has only got like rear wheel drive basically, like it's powering the 2 rear axles, whereas the P12 is powering all 3 axles, that's the only major difference I can really see for why it feels a lot more underpowered than the yeah, the P16, because like I say, if they've both got the same engine, then in theory they should at least have that going for it. And yeah, the weight, I've just removed the crane off of the P12 to check them, and I believe the power to weight ratio also stays the same, but like I said, in the description it says that the P16 is the heavy one. Yeah, this thing, I mean, I have got 2 loafs packed on the back, but later on when I go for a little drive, I haven't... There's an ANK. It's one I made earlier. Abandoned that thing as well. To be fair, actually, when I went for a little drive in the ANK, considering I've got the custom muds on it, which are being a bit of a troll on this map, it wasn't doing too badly. And yeah, that's what I was saying though, with the loads packed on the back, is I suppose like when you pack cargo and stuff, once you actually pack cargo, it kind of adds the weight to it. Vehicles have always been a different thing. It's a bit like with the cranes can lift cargo pretty easily. They can't even lift a lot of scouts very easily. They've already got the weight to them regardless whether they're packed or not. But I do think it seems to punish the trucks a little bit when you do pack them. It's a little bit like when you tow a vehicle, or even back in the day when I just used to load mainly a loaf into like the sideboard or whatever. It definitely have a bit of effect on you, and nothing too crazy. I mean, when I was driving around in stuff like the Dolphin, it makes such a tiny difference to, when you're in high range. If anything, it was slightly beneficial, because for some reason you used to just take less damage off hitting rocks and stuff on the road, even though you're basically going the same speed. But yeah, tonight the Twinsteer was feeling it a little bit. And yeah, one of the other reasons, I suppose, just weighing up my options, why I brought 2 loafs in the end, is this little path I'm going to have to go up now to get to the Lodestar. Yeah, fine, not a chance. Loaf ain't going down like that. Yeah, it's pretty damn narrow, so you're going to have to bring something pretty narrow anyway. You ain't really comfortably going to be getting anything like a Colob or a P16 or anything up there. And yeah, I was trying to think of all the different kind of pretty narrow vehicles. Maybe stuff that's normal size, like the, I don't know, the Paystar, I suppose, the Freightliner, the White Western Star, all them sort of size things might be able to squeeze their way up here, but again, it was just for the sake of variety a bit. Like I say, if I didn't bring the loafs, I'd have to be dragging a maintenance trailer behind me up here as well, so, and then I've got to take that back down the hill. Or abandon it, which would have been my my top option, to be honest. But yeah, 2 of these little beasts, they'll get the job done. With room to spare. See, little bits of the road like this, you could probably ram something a bit bigger through there, but that's definitely what she said. Yeah, but realistically, it's like, it's just going to jam a lot of your trucks up. The same when I get a bit further up here, there's a few little spots that, bit of a tight squeeze to get through. Of course, though, not for a goddamn wholesale vehicle. They know what they're doing. And yeah, like I say, fortunately, you're only grabbing a Lodestar, so it's nothing too hefty. I'm surprised they didn't try and troll us and do something like put a bloody P16 at the top of there that you've got to try and smash it all the way down. To be honest, there is a ledge at the edge of the cliff, pretty near where you are. It did cross my mind at one point, I could just winch to the Lodestar and fly off the edge of the cliff and then grab the truck at the bottom. So look at the size of that boulder in the way of the road. The loaf, you don't care. Either knocks boulders out of the way or climbs over them better than most vehicles in this game can, yeah, do anything with them. So you need 130 litres, 120 on the first loaf. Use all them points. I assume it shrinks the screen, but I should have 210 repair points left. I need 10 fuel. Although that does remind me, actually, I fixed the Lodestar. No, sorry, fueled the Lodestar before I fixed it, and then it leaked a bit of fuel out again, only like 4 litres or something. Didn't really matter because I brought more than enough fuel between the 2 goddamn professionals. But yeah, just mentioning it, like, might be worth fixing it first, just so the fuel tank's not pissing it out all over the place. Do you know what, years ago I went to Isle of Man, me and my brother, and we had this bloody Vauxhall Vectra. God, that was a piece of crap, that car. The accelerator cable broke on it at one point. We were trying to drive it home with a piece of string. Pulling on the accelerator cable. Every time my brother's changing gear, I was yanking on this string to drive it. But anyway, yeah, we're just about to get back on the boat. Filled the thing up with fuel just so we didn't have to stop once we got back to England. And yeah, it must have had a hole near the top of the fuel tank because it was the first time we'd ever filled this piece of crap up. And yeah, it started pissing fuel everywhere. So then we missed the boat, so we had to book another night in the hotel, change the ticket, and put it through about 10 bloody car washes so it didn't stink like fuel. So they'd actually let us on the boat in the first place. So yeah, that's another car on the list of cars I'd sooner not own again. Peugeot's being one of them. Vectras. My other brother, Dave, of course it's a Dave, had a few Vectras, and one of them, I don't know how the bloody hell it... Well, in fact, actually, I'll take that back. I was going to say I don't know how he managed it. I do know how he managed it, because he drives like a bloody maniac, or he did back then. He had a Vauxhall Vectra that, for some reason, every time, I think it was when you went around a left-hand corner, I've never ever seen or experienced another car doing it. It was like something between the engine, the gearbox, and the front tyres. Something would catch like absolute solid metal and just go bang, and it'd jolt the whole car like a mad one. Yeah, it was just, I remember it distinctly because he gave us a lift somewhere driving through town, and as he was going around it was just doing this, like, again, whatever it was pretty meaty solid metal that was smashing into each other and absolutely like locking the whole drivetrain up for a split second until it kind of brute forced itself back out of it. And yeah, that thing was alright, nail. Probably not when he bought it, by the time he'd finish it, with it. But yeah, that Vectra we had, we were not responsible for that. When we bought it, it was already a piece of shit. And it remained so. I think we scrapped it in the... Oh no, we sold it to our friend so cheaply that he didn't even trust us. That it was like, we told him, we said, yeah, it's got a hole in the fuel tank, but only if you fill it up like 4/5 of the tank and above, then it'll start leaking. We'd change the accelerator cable at that point, but we paid about 800 quid for it, and we said you can have it for 200 quid. Part of the reason, we just bought a V8 BMW E39 540 V8, but it was a 4.4 litre V8, and we got it with this 6-speed manual. So yeah, we were just like, get that get that Vectra off our drive, we don't care, you can have it for 200 quid. And there was a Vectra show, well, there was a Vauxhall show, where we lived at the time, so all he had to do was literally wash it, drive it up there, and yeah, he sold it for 800 quid. Made 600 quid in about an hour. But I just couldn't stand the thing that much, that he needed to see the back end of it. It needed to be sold cheaply. If he didn't buy it, we were going to scrap it. Yeah, anyway, that's that mission done. Funnily enough though, when I went and grabbed the Dan quickly just to crane it onto the back of this, I tried to switch the Lodestar and it said you have to deliver it first before you can use it. A bit like it said with the other Twinsteer when you do the mission Sunk Giant. Yeah, when you get here though, it just automatically takes it off you, so that's another vehicle that you don't get to keep. I'm surprised they didn't really let us keep one or something more vehicles on this map than yeah, on some previous maps. Like I say, on Rift they gave us another free Tatrin, which was the second one, which was pretty cool because for a lot of people, yeah, it was just a fat old chunk of cash. And when you think this mission paid out about 5 grand, a free Tatrin is the equivalent to what, like 28 times the payout of that mission. You see now when I stick it in reverse, like how long it takes for the power to come in. That's what I mean. And I was almost going to say have they nerfed the Twinsteer, but I don't think they have. I think it is just something with this mission. It has like, yeah, some limiter that's beyond everything else. It's like another speed or rev limiter that's just placed on like the whole map. It seems to be irrelevant of what truck you've got, what gearbox, what engine, what you're towing, what you're not towing, what your power to weight ratios or anything. It's just like, as I said, when the coding obviously it's sort of essentially does a calculation, I believe, and then at the end of it it's like they just slap some kind of nerf on top of that. It's even going up here, and again I've not got any lows, so I'm not towing anything. Yeah, I've got the top engine and everything in it, and it's crawling bloody slowly. And it's staying in first gear. It isn't even remotely thinking about getting out of first gear. I keep tapping L1 to try and encourage it. Tried banging it in high, that was not really doing anything. I think eventually when I got onto this road that's just more like a paved road, it started to get there in the end. But yeah, I mean, for those of you that drive this thing a lot, I don't drive it a hell of a lot, but I do drive it every now and then. Probably doesn't always make it into videos, but I often just go for a little lap in it because I like how punchy and like quick it is in high range. Yeah, it just something feels a little bit off with it. As I said, something feels a little bit off with these two maps really, which is a bit of a shame. Again, I'm still just holding out for mods, hoping that they can kind of boost the trucks enough that it sort of balances the whole game out again, because for whatever reason the devs don't really seem, I don't know, it doesn't really seem like a goal of theirs. But yeah, anyway, that's about it for today though. It was a bit of a quick one, but I hope you enjoyed. I hope that helps. Thanks for watching. Get yourself some lows, of course, and I'll be back soon.